ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਕਟਿਮ ਹੋ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਲੈਂਡਲੋਰਡ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਰੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਮਰਿਆ?
$25,000 I lost it.
ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਡਿਸੀਜਨ ਹੈ ਲੈਂਡਲੋਰਡ ਟੈਨੈਂਟ ਬੋਰਡ ਦਾ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਫੇਵਰ 'ਚ 1 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਲੈਂਡਲੋਰਡ ਵਨ ਦ ਕੇਸ ਐਂਡ ਡਿਸੀਜਨ ਕੇਮ ਇਨ देयर favor. It's a wastage of resources, like how many courts we are wasting their time. We are the one work can be done by the landlord tenant boards only.
Landlord tenant board is toothless.
ਲੈਂਡਲੋਰਡ ਟੈਨੈਂਟ ਬੋਰਡ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਹਜ਼ਾਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਇੰਨੇ ਕੁ ਲੈਂਡਲੋਰਡ ਸਫਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈ। ਉਹਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ ਕੀ ਹੈ? ਅਗਰ ਲੈਂਡਲੋਰਡ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੇਸ LTV ਤੋਂ ਜਿੱਤ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਲੈਂਡਲੋਰਡ ਟੈਨੈਂਟ ਬੋਰਡ ਤੋਂ ਜਿੱਤ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਐਨਫੋਰਸਮੈਂਟ ਦੀ ਕਮੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਲੈਂਡਲੋਰਡ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਸਮਾਲ ਕਲੇਮ ਕੋਰਟਸ 'ਚ। ਸਮਾਲ ਕਲੇਮ ਕੋਰਟਸ 'ਚ ਲੈਂਡਲੋਰਡ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੂਜੀ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਪੇਪਰ ਸਰਵ ਕਰਨੇ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਅਗਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਉਹਦਾ ਐਡਰੈਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੇਪਰ ਸਰਵ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ। एनफोर्समेंट इज़ मिसिंग इन लैंडलॉर्ड टेनेंट बोर्ड ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਰਡਰਸ ਹੈ, ਐਨਫੋਰਸਮੈਂਟ 'ਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਕਟਿਮ ਹੈ ਲੈਂਡਲॉर्ड, ਜਿਹੜੇ LTP ਤੋਂ ਕੇਸ ਜਿੱਤੇ, ਸਮਾਲ ਕਲੇਮ ਕੋਰਟ ਤੋਂ ਕੇਸ ਜਿੱਤੇ, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਕੀ ਵਟ ਨੈਕਸਟ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਬਾਨੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਹਰਦੇਸ਼ ਮਰਵਾਹਾ ਨਾਲ। ਹਰਦੇਸ਼ ਜੀ, ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦ ਸ਼ੋ।
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ
ਹਰਦੇਸ਼ ਜੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਕਟਿਮ ਹੋ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਲੈਂਡਲॉर्ड, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਰੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਮਰਿਆ?
बिल्कुल, मेरा एक्चुअली मैं थोड़ा बैकग्राउंड देना चाहता कि मैं इस बिजनेस से 20 साल तो होते हैं।
For last 20 years
I've been doing the business. मैं नया नहीं है, मतलब मैंने इस बिजनेस का पता है, I know how to do this thing. But despite all this experience ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, I'm going through a very tough time. ਜਿਹੜਾ case which we are discussing now is almost $25,000 I lost it. Apart from that, already spent over $7,000 ਜਿਹੜਾ मैं अपने पैरालीगल और अपने इन्वेस्टिगेशन एजेंसी जितने इन्वेस्ट कर चुके हैं to find out the tenant after the enforcement.
So where are your properties where this happened? Like
it's in Mississauga near Lakeshore, just on the border of Toronto and Mississauga, right on the Lakeshore.
And what happened and when it started?
So it started last year October 2023 when I listed this property to rent it. And it is a bungalow, old bungalow, but it is well maintained. There was one CIO whom I bought it, so they were living in that as a white guy. So I put a rent, $4,000 rent, including basement finish. So after screening a tenant, I found this tenant. They are highly qualified. Both are engineer. Combined income is $250,000. And check the credit history as usual. Check the credit history. Check the employment. I called the employer, confirm everything. Everything was perfect. AAA tenant which we are talking about. I rented in October 2023. After 2 months, they start giving me trouble. The trouble which I never faced in my life. As I said, so they were asking to put the lock on the bedroom. They said we want to put each bedroom has to be lock on that. Put the Cat 5 cable, which is internet cable.
I see.
Walk through the top to the bottom and the installation. So I said this is not possible. We're not signing this agreement. But they say okay, we'll not stop payment. Just you give this, otherwise we will not give the payment. Just on this issue, they start stopping it.
They stopped the rent.
Stop the rent.
How much was the rent?
$4,000. They stop it and then start blackmailing me that you have to do this, you have to do this. So then they start further down the lock. They want to put a lock on the shed. There's a back shed, so which they stop it, and they don't allow to access the property. So somehow on March we able to access it. So when I enter the property, me and my wife, we find almost 12 to 14 bikes in the property.
I see.
They're expensive bikes. Motorcycle bike. Motorcycle. And they're from different provinces, like Quebec, and they were from British Columbia and Ontario. So we were shocked. And then the 3 big dogs were there. And outside there were 3 truck was parking. So we thought there may be somebody else living on this thing. But when we start inspecting it, this guy says, I need lock on my bedroom. I said, who put the bedroom? He said, I have firearms. I have 3 firearms. So he bring it and pistol and show me that this is the 3 firearms. So we were scared.
See, your tenant had firearms, they had dogs, they had dogs there, and many bikes.
12 or 15 bikes were there. So
and nothing was mentioned in the lease.
Nothing mentioned in the lease, right? So we were scared. We came back. So as a responsible citizen, we called the police. We said, we have suspicious this person have 12 to 15 bikes in the property and then have 2 firearms. We don't know what it is, and stop paying rent. So police visited, so they find everything legal.
Okay.
So all the firearms were legal in their name. All the 12, 15 bikes they found it, but still not paying the rent.
Okay. Then you approach the landlord tenant board. Okay.
So landlord tenant board, we have first hearing, which they start diverting all the situation that we need the plumbing issue, this issue, that issue, that issue, all fake issues kind of thing. And then it adjourned, and then they adjourned. They said judge will give the date.
So how many months you had to wait to get a LTB
8
date?
months.
8 months.
8 months.
After 8 months,
I got this.
You got a hearing.
Hearing.
Okay. Then.
And that first hearing, I mean, it was adjourned without any decision.
Okay.
Because the argument was back and forth.
Got
kind of
it.
thing. And then they ask, I mean, which date are available. So the tenant gives the date available for next year, 2025 March.
Okay.
So all the month he said, I have emergency, I'm not available. Right from October till end of this year, plus January and February.
Okay.
So that was suspicious. I said, how can it possible if somebody have urgency, how they know upfront 5 month kind of thing. So we again put our petition to this is delaying tactics. Please consider it, and this guy is not doing. So court listened to us and they give another date.
Which date they gave?
They gave you on October 28th. Oh, October 18th, sorry.
18th October 2024.
24.
Means 1 year after the
1
you
year
started.
after they
Okay.
started.
Okay. Then October 24.
Then October, again they started from there, and the judge LTB listen everything. And on October 28th, they give a decision. They said all argument what they're putting is fake, is not genuine, they cannot justify it. So they gave the rent option that they have to fully rent by this thing.
So October 28th, you got a decision in your favor from the LTB. That
So
decision you have?
Yes, this LTB order I have, which is issued on October 28th.
Okay.
So that order I got it, as you see, this is.
Okay. So ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ decision ਹੈ landlord tenant board ਦਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ favor ਚ 1 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ landlord won the case and decision came in their favor. Okay, then what happened after that?
So they stopped paying even after that. So judge give 3 options. Okay, if you want to continue, you pay the such amount, 28,000 something. If you want to vacate, you do this thing, but they gave cutoff date is November 8th.
Okay.
November 8th, if you're not paid, you can go for eviction. So I can apply for the eviction order. Then approach the small claim court, and I said, I mean, you have to evict this tenant, he's not paying it.
If rent was $4,000, so 12 months, it's approximately 48,000. Means they were paying something?
In between, see what happened, the date which comes, so one thing, I forgot, the judge says, you have to continue the payment. If you not continue payment, your case will be dismissed. Then they start paying rent in between. So the 2-3 months, they between, they paid the rent in fact. And then they stop after that. After the decision, they didn't pay anything. Then we approached small claim court.
Okay.
So that's what I want to tell the story.
So eviction happened?
Not yet.
No, not yet. They are still
10-week waiting.
Okay.
So we filed the case in small claim court. At minimum 10 weeks, the Brampton court cannot come and evict it.
Okay.
Even though tenant is still living, he's not paying rent, so I have to wait 10 weeks now.
Who is paying the electricity and water charges?
Tenant, so far tenant pays. So we call and confirm it.
Okay.
So when we start investigating it, said why they are stopped the rent. So I hired an agency.
Okay.
I said find out whether they have a job, they have some financial issues. So the girl's still working. Is a multinational company. She is making 125,000. Boy, he's left the job. He started his own business. So he started some online expensive car selling and bike kind of thing. And in between, the agency they bought 2 houses. So in March onwards, they give the down payment 100,000 to buy a property in Brentford.
Wow.
And another property they bought, which is a cash down in fact. So we find out 2 property. We find out one Tesla Cybertruck which just started a few months back. So all these properties plus car we found out. And then we went back to the court. I said, I mean, they are lying, they have fund. I mean, without fund, who can buy 2 property in this?
So it's very strange that they were not paying your rents for a year. And they bought 2 houses, they bought the Cybertruck. It's quite a suspicious.
It's quite suspicious kind of thing. So the first target, low-hanging fruit, was the girl because she is working multinational. So we filed a garnishment. So we filed small claim court that we have to garnish to
her wages from the employer.
Other problems started. So the garnishment is applied to her portioner because she is co-signer. So she's entitled for 50%. So once the court issues, only 50% garnishment can go,
Yes.
and 20% of our salary.
Okay.
So every pay stub they cut 20% of 50% of total amount.
Yes.
So my 50% amount still open. Right?
Okay.
Then I start approaching it, find out here.
So girls, the employer, they started paying you the 20%?
Not yet. No, they have to pay court.
Okay, they had to pay court.
They don't have to pay me.
I
So they each pay stub they will charge 20% and they will pay to the court.
To the court, okay.
And court will deposit until
Okay.
the full amount has
Yes.
come of
Then-
her 50%.
Okay, then next.
Another 50% I have to chase this person.
This person, okay.
And the property is on his personal name.
Okay.
This individual name.
So they were husband, wife?
husband wife.
Okay,
So the two property which he bought, that is his own name.
okay.
And we find out the car history and this all lease finance. So we cannot go up the car because somebody own it.
Okay.
So we went to the Brantford, city of Brantford.
The city of Brantford,
Yeah.
where they bought two properties?
Two properties.
Okay.
there, right? And then we file a case there. So there is an option in that called writ, seizure and sell it. So the option is basically enforcement can seize that property and sell it.
Okay.
Sell
So
it.
that city can do, city of any city can
Any
do that?
city can do that. In fact.
So if your tenants were defaulters and they bought two properties in city of Bradford, and then you approach the city of Brentford,
Yeah.
that these guys own a properties in your city,
city, yeah.
and they owe me rent.
No merit, yeah.
And then what city said?
So before city said you bring the order from the court.
Okay.
The now problem is the court in Brampton,
Brampton.
and they live in Mississauga.
Okay.
So the thing is we have to serve the notice first. So we go to the Brampton court, get this order that this guy have two properties. So
Yes.
they check all the property. I have to pay fees. I think 150 rupees. And then I got order. I took that order and then went to the Brantford court.
Okay.
And said you execute this thing. Now there's another catch.
Yes.
Even court order it that you have to seize the property and sell it. Enforcement officer cannot do. We have to wait 4 months.
Wow.
So another 4 months I have to wait to execute this court order to sell this property.
Wow.
And to sell this property, I have to deposit $250 plus $7,000 fees
Okay.
as a security.
I see.
So then what happened? The city will hire lawyer, they will hire real estate agent, and then they will start selling the process.
Okay.
So which I have to wait for 4 months until I cannot recover.
But you went through you went through landlord tenant board, you went through small claim court, then you went to city of Brantford, then you went to courts with those court order to serve into the city of Brantford.
Yeah.
It's a quite lengthy process.
It is lengthy process.
It's a wastage of resources. Like how many courts we are wasting their time.
Time and
Where the
money.
one work can be done by the landlord tenant boards only.
Exactly. So landlord tenant board is toothless.
Toothless?
Toothless. They don't have a power. They are just can issue the order, but they cannot execute it. To execute the order, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ।
ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਲਾਈਨ ਚ ਹੋ, ਬਟ ਇੱਕ ਕਾਮਨ ਮੈਨ what he can do, how he can go so many phases?
Impossible. See, the system is broken. We know that the system is broken. The only thing we can take a precautions when we have a tenant. Now there's 2-3 websites. It's called Open Room.
Yes.
So Open Room, you can go and search it. There's a front lobby. There's a third party which basically they can check all this tenant. So there's a process. I mean, I would suggest, go through all this validation process. Then to do the tenant. It's not easy. I mean, for ordinary person who's starting business, it's very, very difficult.
So you lost $25,000 of rent, then you spend another $7,000 on the lawyer's fees and all those.
And still there's no recovery.
There is no recovery, and tenants are still
there.
But you are running after them.
I'm running after them. So after 10 weeks, I have filed my eviction order. It will take 10 weeks. From Brampton office. So when the sheriff will go and vacate the property.
ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ lawless ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸਾਰਾ?
It is lawless. It is lawless. As I said, last 20 years I've been doing, never have these issues. But last 3-4 years, system is completely broken. So when I see, somebody have a genuine problem, we can understand.
Yeah.
But person like white collar who have making 250,000, they're buying car and they're abusing the system.
So these renters, what ethnicity they were from?
They're Asian. They're South Asians. Yeah.
Okay.
And they were highly Waterloo engineers. They passed out in fact. and
highly educated, working in the multinational, still they are behaving like this.
And there are no consequences.
Yes.
See, the system doesn't provide any consequences. There's no fear. कोई डर नहीं है. मतलब they can live life in fact.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੋਗੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਜੋ LTV board ਨੂੰ ਔਰ government ਨੂੰ?
See, I know government keeps saying is that they want to do it, but nothing is concrete. We haven't seen yet कि कुछ होना. But landlord tenant board should be have some kind of truth. I don't know, before 3-4 years or 4 years ago, you can go to the small claim court.
Yeah.
But this government changed everything. So anything related to the landlord tenant board,
this has to go to LTV.
LTV. You cannot go to the small claim court.
You think LTV should have the powers for the eviction? For all the penalties, for all the, they should not pass it to the small claim court or the cities and everything.
Exactly.
They should have all those powers.
Power kind of thing. They can execute the order. Once they issue the order, they can issue the order that they have, somebody had to execute.
And this is a civil matter. Police don't do anything in
Police don't do anything. Regardless anything we do it. As I said, I mean, we find 12 bike, 15, firearms, nothing. Police says this is landlord tenant board, go there.
Thode baki orders, you have lot of papers. What are they? These were the LTB orders.
Yeah.
Then you have the small claim court orders.
This is a small claim order.
So these are the small claim orders which came in favor of the landlord, which is these orders.
Then we have garnishment order, which
garnishment orders. Garnishment ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟੈਨੈਂਟ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵਾਈਫ ਮਲਟੀਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ 'ਚ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੀ ਸੀ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ EMPLOYER ਨੂੰ ਰੀਚ ਕੀਤਾ, ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਹਸਬੈਂਡ ਵਾਈਫ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵਾਈਫ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ 50 ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ 50% ਡਿਊ ਸੀਗਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਚੋਂ 20% ਹਰ ਪੇ ਚੈੱਕ ਚੋਂ ਕੱਟ ਕੇ ਉਹ ਕੋਰਟ 'ਚ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. These are the garnishment orders. Then you have all these.
Yeah. So now there's the process how to seize the property. So the Ontario government give me this process how sheriff will execute it. So I have to wait 4 months another before they can execute this thing. The court order.
So these are the eviction वाले ਜਿਹੜੇ papers ਹੈਗੇ ਕਿ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ eviction ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿੰਨਾ time ਲੱਗਣਾ, ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ property ਲੈਣੀ ਹੈ. Then you went to the city of Brantford where they own the property.
So all my bills, expenses which I've been paying, there's just no recovery.
ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕੋਰਟ 'ਚ ਕਿੰਨੇ amount ਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ claim ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ?
Almost more than 25,000. I don't have exact number, but the city which I filed it because I have to inform the mortgagee also. Because they took the mortgage kind of thing. Some of the one property bought cash, which you don't have to inform. But they have to calculate that they have some equity. Then only sheriff will sell it.
Okay.
So they will decide after 4 months. I have to hire a lawyer. I have to pay money. Then lawyer will work with the city of Brantford.
So I think having a property is kind of a stress on one.
Painful. Very painful. Very painful now.
Repent कर दें क्यों property ले लिया?
Exactly. Exactly. It is now. It's time to exit now. कि नए बंदे दा नहीं है.
नहीं. Invest ना करो तुसी अपना एक घर लगे बैठे रहो की करना.
बिल्कुल.
Because you never know this thing happened to you.
I mean, US is much better than here.
US has the implementation enforcement.
Yeah, I bought a couple of property US. US is much better compared to Canada. Canada is broken. System is broken completely.
So ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ landlord tenant ਦੀ crime ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੀ ਕਹੋਗੇ?
There's no consequences. We have seen it, right? Car thefting and everything. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਓ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖੋ small claim ਗਿਆ ਹੈ long line. I mean, I was not. See, when I saw myself that I am the guy कि मैं दुखी है मेरा पैसा है, वो उत्ते जाके देखो बड़ी लाइन लगी और some guys, I mean, some people are very poor, I mean, which they can't afford it. I mean, they're going through very tough time. मतलब I've seen one अपनी community बंदे सी, he was literally crying. This guy he says कि मेरी सारी उम्र दी पैसा उससे लग गया. And I can't, it don't allow me access. मेरी mortgage नहीं जा रही. I'm borrowing money. So it's painful.
So अपने पैसे recover करने लिए थोड़ा काफी time devote हो रहा है इस चीज़ में?
बहुत सर. जब मैं पिछले 1 साल तो लग गया देखो जी आई करने लिए कि because thanks God I can afford it, but not everybody can do it. हर एक कोई नहीं है जोड़ा है ना passionate करे जे time लगाए. But that's painful. It's not honestly.
Thank you, Mr. ਸੋ ਆ ਸੀਗੇ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਮਿਸਿਸਾਗਾ ਦੇ ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰਟੀਜ਼ ਅਕ੍ਰੋਸ ਦ ਸਿਟੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਇਆ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੇਸ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਲੈਂਡਲॉर्ड ਟੈਨੈਂਟ ਬੋਰਡ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਲੈਂਡਲॉर्ड ਔਰ ਟੈਨੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਡਿਸਪਿਊਟ ਲਈ ਬਣਿਆ ਉੱਥੇ ਕੇਸ ਜਿੱਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਮਾਲ ਕਲੇਮ ਕੋਰਟ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ LTV ਦੇ ਆਰਡਰਸ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਇੰਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਐਨਫੋਰਸਮੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਈ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਮਾਲ ਕਲੇਮ ਕੋਰਟ 'ਚ ਜਾਣਾ ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਆ ਕੇਸ ਜਿੱਤੇ ਸੋ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਕੋਰਟਾਂ 'ਚੋਂ ਕੇਸ ਜਿੱਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਟਿਲ ਐਨਫੋਰਸਮੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਈ ਦੈਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟੈਨੈਂਟ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਟਫੋਰਡ 'ਚ 2 ਘਰ ਖਰੀਦੇ ਰੈਂਟ ਮਾਰਿਆ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਰਟੀਆਂ ਖਰੀਦੀਆਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਟਫੋਰਡ, ਉੱਥੇ ਸਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਰਵ ਕੀਤੇ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ 'ਚ ਆਹ ਟੇਨੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਡਿਫਾਲਟਰਸ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਲੈਣੇ ਹੈ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਰਟੀ ਵੇਚ ਕੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਜਾਣ ਔਰ ਗਾਰਨਿਸ਼ਮੈਂਟ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੇਜਿਸ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਉਹਦੇ EMPLOYER ਕੋਲ ਵੀ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ। ਇਟਸ ਅ ਲੌਂਗ ਰਨ ਫॉर ਅ ਲੈਂਡਲॉर्ड। ਸਾਡਾ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਰੀਅਲੀ ਇਜ਼ ਵੈਰੀ ਕੰਪਲੈਕਸ, ਵੀ ਨੀਡ ਟੂ ਫਿਕਸ ਇਟ ਐਂਡ LTV ਸ਼ੁੱਡ ਹੈਜ਼ ਮੋਰ ਪਾਵਰਸ। ਸੋ ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਸਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਜਲਦ ਤੋਂ ਜਲਦ ਕੁਛ ਕੰਮ ਕਰੂਗੀਆਂ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਮਿਸਿਸ ਹੈ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਦੀ ਤਰਫ ਤੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੁਣੇ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਵਰਕਿੰਗ ਔਨ ਇਟ ਐਂਡ ਵੀ ਵਿਲ ਫਿਕਸ ਇਟ।